Hello, friends. Welcome to the Say It Loud podcast. I am your host, Matt Jones, and this week we welcomed Nightcap onto the show. They're an up-and-coming band. They met up with Fair City Fire at a So Far Sounds gig recently. So we talked about that gig. We talked about how they got together as a band and how they're evolving as songwriters. More importantly, we talked about how to resolve a grudge with a cat. We compared TV sizes. And we will tell you if you have diabetes. It's a very special episode. We would love for you to enjoy this podcast with a cold, refreshing Sprite. We had a good time with these guys. Check out their new EP called Petals. It's on Spotify. You can get it on their website at nightcapatx.com. Thank them again for coming on the show. Thank you for listening. Enjoy.
10 fingers. Check. 10 fingers. Check 1, 2. Hey, this is for Matt. 10 fingers for Matt.
Hey, clip those nails, huh?
Whoa.
Check, 10 fingers from God. 10 fingers from God. Check.
Yes.
That's my favorite passage.
Welcome, fellas. A nightcap.
A nightcap.
Yeah, welcome, Nightcap.
Nightcap.
Yes, absolutely.
Welcome
Cheers.
to the podcast. We're
Yes,
starting
welcome.
now, yeah. Is
Let the audience know that I am cracking open a Diet Coke.
Let's let the record show.
Oh man, you're crazy.
I'm drinking
I'm kidding.
whiskey.
At this
out of a
hour, you're
coffee
going to be
mug.
up all
Yeah.
night.
I know it. You know, I like it to be gluten-free soda. I think Diet Coke is the closest I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us out to chat with you guys about life and hopefully
Oh,
emotions.
yeah, that's what we do.
We're talking
life.
about love letters sent that we never got back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah.
that. We haven't
Wait,
done
do you-
that yet.
Dude, we
Do you
can
have
dive
all day?
into that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how long we're
Oh,
gonna
I
be
have
here.
a...
Because I've never gotten one back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be a long one, I think. Yeah.
Well, from Fair City Fire, we've got Brett,
Hello.
Brian,
Hey.
and Joe.
Hey.
And I want to get some of these last names are awesome, and I want to make sure I do it right. So we've got Alex Alfonso,
Yes,
a.k.a.
sir.
Fonzie. Do you really go by Fonzie?
He
Yeah,
is
it's been unavoidable for a while.
Oh, I
It
guess
just kind of
so, yeah.
stuck, and
Ryan King.
That is me, yes, sir.
Yes. Jake Baumgars.
You got it.
Gars. I like the double A.
It's Dutch. I
Dude,
hear.
tell him the
Nice.
story. Tell him the story.
So I looked at my family heritage and I found out there's only a little bit of Baumgarses in the United States, and actually all these people, Baumgars, there's like 250 out of 500 people come from this small town in Netherlands called Westlaas. So naturally you start to think it's a small town, 200 something people named Baumgars. What's really going on here?
No inbreeding.
Nah,
That's for sure.
I'm hoping not, but also I'm really dying to
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Jake's always told us about how much he really wants to go visit for like an extended period of time.
Let's go
And,
to
you know,
Clum Baumgars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like-
party, yeah.
you know,
Everything's named
Yeah.
after
Jake's a good looking guy too, so he's gonna go into
full
wants to
village.
go visit this.
I might get lucky with the Baumgars. I don't know.
And we've got Derek Kamazine.
Kamazine, you got
Kamazine, nice. Well, thanks for coming by.
we got Adrian Ayala over in the corner. He's been on
Yeah.
a 1 week meditative silence. He's been crying a lot since the Lion King trailer came out, and
Like 1992.
No, man.
the new
No,
the new
there's
one.
a new one.
There's
What?
a new Lion.
There's a
King
new
trailer.
one. Disney's
Man.
yeah, Disney's launching some really
Beyonce.
good stuff.
You ever heard of her?
Who's what?
Yeah,
Beyonce.
Oh, what?
She's
Yeah.
in it.
Beyonce is like Nala and Donald Glover, Simba, and
And Adrian has not stopped
Donald
crying.
Glover, Simba.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, but I mean, you know what?
He's cubbish,
I'm open.
Gambino.
But
Yeah.
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
James Earl
nice.
Jones
There you go.
reprises
Easy.
Yeah,
his role there as Mufasa.
yeah.
Then you got
What?
You've got Billy Eichner and what's the smoking dude? Seth Rogen, who does Timon,
Yes, Seth
Timon and
Rogen.
Pumbaa. They're
Oh,
doing
no
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I heard Elton John makes a cameo, but
I hope
he's
so.
not animated. He's just in the film.
Yeah.
At some point, you know?
All I can think of is Riggs. Riggs from Dan.
You're thinking of Danny Glover.
I am thinking of Danny Glover, dude. I was like, that doesn't make any
worst.
sense.
That'd be
Dude. Yeah, I
hilarious.
was like, in my mind, I was like,
I
just the worst choice. Yeah, for Simba.
Yeah, many times.
Donald Glover.
I'm
Many
too damn
times
old
I
to be king.
We're in
good.
it,
That was
man.
I'm sure that's one of the
Fire.
top Googled things, though. Like Donald Glover, Danny Glover. They're not related,
Oh
though.
no, I think there's a website for that. I think.
I'm sure.
If there's not, I'm taking that domain tonight.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, welcome, fellas. Nightcap.
Yeah, thanks for having us, dude.
So you guys played Varsity Fire Nightcap at So Far Sounds, right? Is that where you guys met up?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some place on South Congress that's going to be there forever, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't, what is it? I think I
Aviator
got the-
Nation.
Aviator Nation. I got the koozie
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I think might be one of the most beautiful and well-decorated places
Brand new, right?
I've
Isn't
ever
it?
stepped
Yeah,
inside.
like a
yeah,
That used
it
to be
is
the American Apparel store, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
over there.
thank
Yeah, on
God that
South
it-
Congress. Yeah.
that it changed, you know.
And then they opened up for like ACL, I think, right?
They did, yeah. They
Well,
had a big release.
They've been doing the I think they've
T-shirts.
been the official merch for ACL for like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And then they just opened up that store like right around this year's ACL.
Nice.
I think
Yeah, 'cause
they're
they've got
based
'em.
out of California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they started in San Fran.
I
I
think
So-
think LA, but
Somewhere.
they have a San Francisco. Either way,
There's one of the two,
California,
yeah.
we're in
Yeah.
Austin.
Very much
It's-
Cali.
Somebody maybe
Everyone's
makes it
moving
easy
here.
to
The
correct
company's
it.
included.
Yeah,
It's expensive 80s ski wear.
Yeah.
it is, man. And
Yeah.
you bet I'm gonna wear some when I go in the
Dude.
'80s if I ever make it back there.
I'll have to have installment payments on those jackets. It was like $500 for a
Did
fucking
you guys
jacket.
look at the tags at all?
I didn't know
The sweaters?
Oh,
No.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. It's sweet.
Or not even
Silky-ish,
Silky.
whatever.
Oh, what's the name of that material? I
it's not
always
suede or
If you bring a
velvet.
No, I
backpack into the store
always-
with you, you never have to check the
I
tags.
always ask everybody that I know what that. I might have to phone a friend for that one because that's gonna drive me crazy all night. Because it's not velvet, it's not suede.
We don't do lifelines here.
Vinyl jacket.
Vinyl.
Dang.
I forget what it is, but it's very 80s. It's very
Chinchilla.
80s.
Super 80s, yeah.
What's it like? Because when you go to that show, if I'm right, you don't necessarily invite people. Like it's supposed to be kind of a secret show. In
Yeah,
a way.
most of the events they throw are for So Far
This is
Sounds.
So Far Sounds,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
So
for
Far
this
Sounds.
particular event
that's
that we're talking about, yeah.
all random location, random artist. It's a really. I think it's an awesome way to throw intimate shows because if you want to go see a show, you're gonna go see a show, and then just having that surprise factor is really awesome.
Yeah, we don't do any promo for that. We don't tell anybody about it, and we just they tell us where to show up. We go there, and then there's anywhere between 20 to 100 something people based on how big the venue is, and they win some sort of lottery essentially online to go to one of these shows, and it's great for us as you know, up and coming or whatever you want to call it, low and staying bands that need to kind of get out in front of new people, and this is a great environment where people actively want to see music. We get to meet other bands, we get to interact with this small group of people in this space, and I'd say we've had a lot of people from these So Far Sound shows that have become, fans for hopefully for life, but
And friends too.
and a lot of friends there too. It's a great environment to meet people, to have a good time, and everyone's just there to enjoy themselves.
That's what it seemed like. And it was what, a Monday?
Yeah, I think it
Like,
was.
a Monday. or
Yeah,
whatever?
it was
The whole
Monday,
store-
yeah.
The whole store's packed and people are listening and they're attentive and it's cool. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, totally
Definitely.
like dead quiet when the bands were playing
Yeah.
for the most part, and just like staring too, which is like not something you expect. I don't know. Like
It's very rare to get shows these days where people are just actively listening to you. Like even
Yeah.
even at like some stub shows and things like that, people are having conversations in the background. So it's nice to have people that are fully engaged. And
Yeah,
listening.
definitely.
I think that's their whole concept too. I think when you
Right.
go to the front page of their website, it essentially pitches, having an environment to where people are actively listening to the music, no cell phones, just listening to it for what it is and trying to find something new.
Yeah, it was the first time in a long time that I felt nervous before a show playing that particular. So that was our first So Far.
Yeah.
It's
So
real
it was
quiet
like-
in there.
Oh
It's
man,
quiet.
and
it
they
was-
record you, and it's
That one, yeah.
was
That,
just- it
I
was just
actually I
strange.
screwed up the
Yeah.
our just like the song that we play probably a million times, Everest. And we
Half
went
a
in there to
million.
record it. We went in there to video it, dude. I was so mad because we did the whole thing, but I swapped the last chorus that's like longer, like elongated vocals onto the second chorus, and I was like,
and everyone's gonna notice.
Everyone's gonna notice that.
dude,
you
everybody-
know?
we could make it an artistic statement. You know what I
You
mean?
could make a statement, but it's just one of
No.
those things that you want to go in there. And the thing is, like, you spend the whole day thinking, like, all right, we're gonna get a sweet video out of this. You know, it's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. And then you get up there, and of course, whenever you play it, it goes through. But if you're thinking about it at all, like, boom, you
Yeah.
screwed up.
Yeah.
But happens.
Yeah, it does. No, it was.
Sure does.
What's it like versus? So what was this one like versus playing in new crowds? I mean, I know like Varsity Fire guys, you've toured or played a new audience in different cities, or sometimes you like do the gig where it's not your album release, or you're not headlining, but you want to pair up with somebody fun and just try to get new audience. Is it similar to that, or is it kind of a different energy?
I'd say like the biggest difference from the So Far Sound show from most of our other shows is that, in a So Far Sound show, we want to kind of keep somewhat composed and we want to keep the sound clean. And I think that's the major focus. Whereas, one of the biggest drivers in some of our other shows is just the energy that we're bringing and like how much we're moving around.
Yeah, definitely.
How
Backflips,
much we're getting
backflips,
pulled,
backflips,
so-
backflips.
Yeah.
Fonzie
backflips,
doing limbo on stage,
backflips.
doing
Exactly.
full-on Matrix style.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and that's a really tough thing about doing So Far Sounds is, like, a lot of bands are really good about doing acoustic sets and stuff like that. But and we'll probably do some acoustic sets. But for this one, it was on a stage. It was a really cool place to. Like, I almost wanted them to be like, yo, can you have everybody stand for this one instead of sit? But like,
Yeah, because everybody sits, like there's pillows
Yeah.
and like
blankets and all that
seats
stuff.
and all that kind of thing.
yeah,
I guess
And
that's what I was getting at. Was like, I guess we all get nervous to an extent before shows, but this particular one is like, I haven't seen us like that in a while.
yeah.
Like usually we talk and bullshit between songs and interact.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
You're very vulnerable on stage.
the
Exactly,
heart was
yeah.
just pounding between songs, and I could feel that between the guys. And
For sure.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's interesting too with shows like that because it's like, there's plenty of things that are like that where it's like, would this be better to do an acoustic set? But then like there's that debate in your mind too, I think, of like, are we really being ourselves if we're doing an acoustic set at a thing like this, And
Exactly.
it's like, that's tough. I mean, if they like the acoustic set, do they really like the band, So it's kind of like
True.
it's a tough thing with those
And it
things.
does, but then on the other hand, it offers a new side to the song that you wouldn't hear from the recording nor a normal live show. So I think I don't know. I would like to get to the point where we can do So Fars and have like an acoustic breakdown set that we can use for like different things like So Far and like
Yeah.
really, because if you crush that, like who was it that had a really awesome session video? I think it was
Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges did a really awesome one, but Hippocampus had a good one in the YouTube New York City, wherever that is. And they did a completely different version of a really awesome song and it was equally as groovy. It was equally as like, it was just a little more, I don't know, they just did it really, really well. So I think if you can master the broken down set and have it sound as good in a different way, it's like double threat.
Yeah, it's cool.
I wonder how they So Far would feel if we showed up and did the Jimmy Fallon thing where we just all played it with children's instruments.
Yes.
I don't think
Yeah,
they
dude, if
noticed
you
that.
can pull it off like the Roots do,
Yeah.
you'd be all right.
Yeah, that's
I think
I
so.
think you,
Just like
you'd
a
have
2-foot
future.
xylophone.
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So great.
So you guys have been around for what, a couple years?
Like 15 years.
Yeah.
I met back in 2003.
No,
Yeah, we've been touring. No,
I think the full band's been together. It's about a year and a half now, and then me and Ryan have been playing together for about 3 years now, and then Adrian, our keyboardist, and Ryan had known each other for 4 or 5 years before
Adrian,
that.
how long have we known each other? Adrian,
He's holding up a lot of fingers.
yeah, we've
10,
known each other for a few years.
10 fingers, to be exact.
I don't know, maybe 15. Can you do that? Can you do it?
No, yeah, I met Adrian back in early high school. It was about the time that I was playing a lot of music with
Was that New Braunfels? Is that
in New Braunfels.
Okay,
Yeah. He went to the rival high school of mine, and one of
Old
my
Braunfels?
best friends. Yeah, old Braunfels High School. Yeah, no. He would So dumb. But he went to high school across the city. But we met, and it was about the same time I was playing a lot of tunes with one of my best friends growing up, Randon Germitbauer, and his brothers all like played music and stuff. Well, they were all like crazy sports stars, and then they all like turned to music as well. And so that was cool. So I was always, me and Randon were very inspired by them. So we were jamming, and then we met Adrian, and we do a little 3-piece. Adrian was just a monster at keys, like from day one. And yeah, he was so good at keys, like from the start, like at a very young age. He like started playing piano, classical lessons, and the whole 9 yards. Did concerts and stuff, or recitals is what you would call them. Yes, for the refined taste. And so he came in and just added a really awesome element to like an acoustic 3-piece that we were doing just in high school. But yeah,
Like, did you play at talent shows or something, or did you?
No, we actually did. We did a couple of real bad like first shows back in the day. New Braunfels, like just like the worst bar in New Braunfels, which New Braunfels is a small town, not a whole lot of happening bar scene down there. But we played a couple of shows before college, and but then whenever we came to college, obviously met Fonz, Jake.
Was it UT Austin?
UT Austin, yeah. And as soon as I found out that Fonz played bass, we immediately started jamming. And then for a while, it was me, Fonz, Randon, and Adrian. And we were playing tunes for a while. And then we got our first show at Sahara. Was it?
Yeah,
Sahara Lounge.
Sahara Lounge.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good
Yeah,
spot,
dude.
yeah.
It's a wiggy spot.
Yeah.
It's
Did you eat the beans and rice?
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
The homemade stuff in the
Absolutely.
back. It's
super
man.
sketchy beans.
Yeah.
in a pot. Yeah.
Take a chance. Just
Public
You
pot
got
for
it.
Just reach it. Just
Public
reach your
pot,
hand right
yeah.
in there.
It's good. I don't care who.
I know,
I'm not
dude.
above it.
And I was like, dude, should I or should I, wait for somebody to do it first so I know it's
Wait.
Watch them drop
Yeah,
on the
watch me
floor.
wait 20
You never
minutes.
say no to free food in a dark room.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree most of the time. It's just like I want to be. I
It's
want
like
to
they
be
used to have
alive
like the electric
afterwards.
Kool-Aid. Now it's like the electric beans.
Yeah, the electric beans.
So the way we met there at that show is really kind of like
Was that the show you were at?
yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
met them. You
It
were
was-
opening for.
Yeah.
it was kind of like a high
man.
school interaction. I was like, I saw them. I was like, they look so cool. And then I played.
Wait, how did they look
God.
cool? I gotta.
Well,
The
like
question is,
there-
how did we look back at it?
Cargo shorts.
You know?
Everyone was wearing cargo shorts.
it was
Yeah.
cargo shorts all around. Yeah, I knew then. It was meant to be. But I played the set. And then this other guy came up and he was like, "Hey, your set sounded good. That other band thought you sounded good too." And then I was like, "Okay." And so then they play their set, and then I came up to that guy again, and I was like, "Hey, their set sounded great." He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go talk to them real quick." And then he came back. He's like, "Hey, they thought your set sounded good too. So like, you guys should meet up and like talk."
God.
And I was like, "Okay." So we all kind of come together, and it's like, "Hey,
Well, we passed notes
I was
too.
gonna say, yeah.
before,
Yeah.
Before,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
Want to
blushing."
be in my band? Yes. No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ask me next
Sitting
week.
across the bar, like
Yeah.
go ahead.
You're send that guy a whiskey ginger. I know it's his
God.
thing.
So what kind of Jake? What kind of what kind of band were you in? Were you just doing solo
Oh, dude,
stuff,
I was
or were
just
you
doing solo
Okay.
stuff. I mean, since I was 14, I've been performing, and then since I was about 17, I got into a habit of playing 3 or 4 gigs a week, just depending on the season, and paid my way mostly through high school and college expenses, and was able to just have a great time doing it. And so I felt like all of that led to playing in this small, grimy
Sahara.
little Sahara Lounge.
Yeah.
God bless it. I love it.
Yeah,
Great
dude.
place.
And that's the craziest thing, man. Like those shows that you play, like whenever you first get started, you really, really appreciate whenever something really crazy and special happens like that. Because had we not done, I mean, at the time it was the only thing that we could do, and it was like, of course we're gonna play this show, but that is one of the cornerstones of this whole band relationship, is that one place.
Very awesome. And then, so you've done Well, I think Derek, you're the newest fella, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
then
last
there's
one,
Derek.
They found me playing on some buckets on Quad.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He was damn
Man,
good,
no,
man.
man.
He played the hell out of those
I
buckets.
believed it. I believed it.
Derek and I moonlighted as country superstars in a former life.
Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fonz and I were doing like freelance gigs together for someone that he knew, and so we did a few shows with him, and then we realized, like, hey, we really fucking hate country music, and so we decided to go.
Was it covers or were you doing original stuff?
Well,
A
he
little bit
had
of
some
both.
original
Okay.
stuff, but
Yeah.
it was a pretty good mix. And then one day, just Fonz hit me up and he said, "Hey, can you just come to a band practice right now?"
Please.
And we went there, and that's where I think we started. The first couple of songs, Everest, Heat, Mine's Gone, I think.
Well, that's where we developed Mine's Gone
YMCA.
in that first
Dude,
practice.
that's my favorite song of yours. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
Really?
It's a great
Yeah,
song,
that is for the chorus is all. It's like still pretty weird where there's like it breaks. I guess in the recording it breaks, but there's like another electric guitar on top. We just couldn't get that down for so long, and the first practice we ever had with Derek, it was like, all right, go. I think I have an idea. Let's just roll through it. It came out beautifully.
Last
So was
guy to
that kind of
join.
like? I mean, were you in the band already, or was that your test? Like, how do you?
Oh, it was
I
very
don't know
much
exactly
a
what
test.
that
It was.
It
like
was a test. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't a test.
Well-
It was I knew Derek was really, really good at drums, and Ryan and I had been, he and I had been jamming and writing and playing music, and it was kind of this weird thing where Ryan and I lived within like, I don't know, 100 yards of each other essentially for a little bit, and so I would just go over there all the time, and it would essentially be like him hopping on guitar and me hopping on drums, or him hopping on like guitar and me on bass, or just us kind of switching instruments, writing stuff, and then and that was just when it was for fun. And then we thought it sounded pretty good. Whenever we would bring in a couple other people to play, like fill out kind of the band sound, it sounded really good. But we hadn't really found the people that I think worked well with what Ryan was trying to do, with what I was trying to do with it. And I think we kind of had somewhere in between our visions, there was a happy medium. And for my mind, I thought that Derek was as good of an option, best option I knew of to kind of fill that spot. And Ryan was just not sure because Ryan, I don't think before that had ever played with a drummer that was an actual like
real drummer.
a trained drummer. Like Derek's taken lessons and been playing for a decade plus. So
Yeah.
it was just something to where when I brought Derek to come practice with us, it was literally, for me personally, it was to show Ryan, hey, by the way, this is what that sounds like.
Yeah.
And after that room, Ryan just kind of had his jaw on the floor for a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was wild because Randon was a good drummer. He's an all-around great musician, but he wasn't a drummer. He was a guitarist and singer-songwriter, and a great one at that. But you wouldn't expect somebody to go forth with a professional musical shot if somebody came up to you and they're like, "Hey man, I know you played tuba in high school band, but can you play saxophone for our jazz band?" It's like it doesn't really work like that so
Yeah.
much. God bless Derek.
We're trying to get a Sprite sponsorship, by the way.
Ooh,
That was a Sprite.
Crisp, refreshing.
Limited
Right.
line.
Sprite.
With the song Everest, that's probably my favorite tune of your guys's.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
How come you never made an album or put it on the EP pedals, or was that even a thought, or because you put that out in 2017, right?
We put that one out October 2nd, 2017. Yeah.
Which is your birthday.
Birthday.
That is my
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was a real special release, and that was one that
Was that the full lineup now?
full
on
lineup.
that?
Yeah,
that was the first, and really that was right after we met Derek.
Derek
too.
was probably with us for like a month or 2 months.
Maybe.
And we told him, hey, man, we want to record this song. Do you have some time to do it with us? And so we recorded that song before Derek had played a show with us.
Yeah.
So that was the timeline there. Honestly, with the EP, it was really because we did Everest with a producer and a recording studio that was kind of a one-off. It was just someone hooked us up with it. We did it. We had a good time. It was nice. But then we hadn't really, vetted and looked for producers. And then so we kind of went through some other options, met a new producer. And honestly, it was just one of those things where we thought the way that we recorded Everest and the way that we did that was just a little bit different than the songs we had done. And so we kind of wanted a little bit more of a cohesive thing. And I think we've talked about it.
And it ended up not sounding too much different than the songs on Pedals anyways. I don't think you could really differentiate between the producing style on either of those things. But
I mean, if you put that one on with Love playing,
yeah,
I mean, it would be very fluid.
It'd be
absolutely,
yeah.
The other part of it was just kind of the fact that we didn't want to do. We don't think we want to do a full album until we really go kind of with that mindset and go and do that as a whole process. I don't think we really want to piecewise an album. I think we kind of, even if we're putting songs out that we already have out, if we do a full album, we'll probably record it the same way, but we still would probably want to re-record it, redo it, just to kind of have a nice full vibe and make sure nothing sounds off.
It makes sense.
And we're just, for us, I didn't think we wanted to do something to where we're putting out, an album so early. I think we're all relatively new to it, and I know we feel that every month that we play together, the songs that we write sound better, the way that we play the songs sound better. Like, we'll play a song the same way for 3-4 months and then tweak something and be like, oh, okay, now I feel like it's ready. So now for us, it's kind of, I honestly felt like we were kind of, not that the products were necessarily rushed, but just based on the fact that we want to just put music out, we were like, all right, this one we feel really good about. Let's go and do it. Let's put it out.
Because at the time we had so many songs, like a lot. Most of our set was not recorded, and we just wanted to let everybody hear recordings
what we're playing,
of what we had. Yeah,
right.
Are you comfortable right now with the just putting out singles, as you guys evolve? Just keep doing that, right?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do for at least the next
year. Honestly, just financially, it's also the best way to do it. Unfortunately, I don't know what if I just pick the price of a full album right now, it'd probably be $10,000+, and I don't think any of us are sitting on $10,000 right now.
Dude,
I don't have it with me right now. No.
I left. I got 10 bands in my
They're
place.
in my other pants.
Yeah, they're in my money pants.
Gold.
Right now, I'm wearing my broke pants right now.
Is this the band now? Like where you guys are now? No, you don't have to point fingers, but this is who you are now.
Oh,
baby.
Yeah.
Other than Ryan, it's really weird. It's I don't know. It's more of it's like a Julius Caesar thing, and I think Jake's gonna stab him next week.
And
double lead singers, man.
I just love everyone so much.
You see that photo up there with the gentleman with his back turned to us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was also a lead singer in our band at one point.
We don't know. And
now
we don't know
dead.
what happened with
now
him.
he's dead.
Was he Fair City and then his last name was Fire?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's one of those things you kicked him out. You're like, oh, we're gonna keep the name.
Well, Brian and him were
Yeah.
lead singers, and
around Christmas time in 2016,
just
one of them kind of disappeared. No one ever heard from him.
One of them
again.
had to go.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have two lead vocals and guitars. Yeah.
you know what happens, yeah.
Wait, I'm
you end up with
This is
twins
real.
in Cleveland.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No,
guys. Well, for those of you who are listening, are you guys seeing this photo?
There's
right
a
now?
photo. We
It
should
is.
probably post it.
The photo is undeniably.
So it's a picture
It's a
of
person.
the band with Derek Cruzy's head from the back, almost as a POV, but it's behind his head, with everybody flipping through records. But Derek, he's in Cleveland. He's got kids now.
Yeah.
Good guy though, right?
Yeah.
Couple
Great
tours.
guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
He's just
Great
not playing
guy.
with you guys anymore.
Yeah, him and Brian
He's awesome.
split
awesome
the.
live performer. Yeah.
I didn't kill him.
It was
I
insane.
didn't- yeah.
You couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
He would
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
you
He's in
your sleep
Cleveland.
first.
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah. For those of you listening, I'm air quoting that.
Yeah.
It's weird. Everybody I hate ended up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Strangest thing.
I will say.
Oh, where'd he end up?
Really,
He's in Cleveland.
I really love the duality when it comes to vocals,
Yeah, 'cause
guitar.
you guys do that.
Yeah.
Ryan and Jake, you
Yeah.
guys do that, right?
I think what it really does is, everybody in this band has natural songwriting ability, and
Yeah.
and somehow by distributing that, between two singers and guitar players, it even just kind of opens up the songwriting process for every single member of the band.
Yeah.
No one person is sort of taking hold of the whole process and feeling like it's all falling on their shoulders. And I really feel like it's like here, I'm going to jump, you jump higher, and then we'll all just follow the lead.
A lot of songs are getting written right now too.
Yeah.
We're coming up with new material as fast as we can, practice the old material, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's
but
a great thing.
it also kind of makes us have to be patient with kind of the process of, not just starting a song saying, oh, that sounds good enough, let's do another one.
Yeah.
Kind of, we'll walk into a practice and 4 different people will have an idea and someone will have 2 or 3 different ideas. And it's like, okay, we want to get to all these. We don't want to forget these. There's like a good moment here for us to expand on something. But, we don't get to practice every day together, unfortunately. So it's with the limited time that we have, really finding the best way to focus on and trying to get as close to whatever we think is perfect for a song. But just making sure we're not moving on too fast and giving everything its fair amount of time.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a tough thing. Writing a song, loving the song, not being able to record the song for so long and sitting on it and be like, God, I just want to, you're laying in bed at night before you fall asleep and you're like, I just want to listen to this recording one more time, I'm sure we've all been there, all, songwriters, and it's tough. But then, whenever you figure out something and you change it and then it's that much better, it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
Do you guys, do you ever feel ownership of a song? Like if you're lead vocals, is that like you have the last decision on that? Or how does that work?
Talking about that the other day.
And what'd you decide? Would you forever decide? You'll never talk about it?
Nah. I'd say, I just think, none of our music would, none of the songs that we feel like we have written at the core would have ever become what they become when we all come together.
Exactly.
And so, it's just, there's no point in being selfish about the process. It's just about building each other up so that you can get the best out of every time that we come together and throw in, pieces of magic.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's
as a collective.
Yeah. And that's so true. And the only thing that we were talking about that was Jake and I were rehearsing one day, just going over vocal harmonies and stuff like that, just us two. And I was like, all right, let's do we went over all the vocal harmonies for your songs. Now let's do my songs. And then we had to stop and be like, we got to stop doing that, But for
Derek
those,
and I also talked about that probably at the same time.
Yeah.
We were just,
Really?
that's band energy. We're all on the same.
What's the rhythm section
right now.
Conversation happening?
It's a lot of grunting.
I think the key is that
Derek
all of
and I-
us are fairly self-aware as musicians. We all know the strengths that we bring to the table, and I think everyone else recognizes that, what each person brings, and we can all kind of come together and bring a better product than any one of us could produce. So, it's good.
No
Serving
doubt.
the song.
Serving the song.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What does it seem like for you, right, Brian? When, Derek was doing some of those lead vocals, it's like, what are our favorite best songs, or?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, well, with any of
That's
it.
how you write any song, right?
Yeah. I think it's, too, with songwriting and stuff and the way we work with, even now, it's just let's just try all these things. Joe will have some idea of let's try this ending, instead. Or, Brett will have a way different bass line idea that kind of changes the, thing. And it's wait, that makes a lot of sense. And it really makes it a really cool song, Or it doesn't, but it's you tried it,
Exactly.
Burn
That's
Brett.
that's the
'cause you
point
gotta
of going
try
over
shit.
songs
Yeah.
a million times.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we all had to kill our own egos coming
Yeah.
into a band together. It's
Yeah.
you can't get hurt whenever somebody's like, nah.
I'll also say that's something that I think was really hard to overcome at first, and,
It was,
and not to call anybody out on this, but it's just based on it's just based on the fact that it's an experience thing, and it's a having done it, and I think it's something to where I know personally I'd played in a lot of different bands growing up and kind of done the whole gigging and writing process with bands, and I know Derek had done the same thing, but Jake and Ryan had really, for the most part and for really the only part, had only done really solo stuff for the most part, as far as writing, recording. Like Ryan had done, the little thing with Adrian and Randy, but it wasn't, the full like long-term going and gigging and making it a real thing. And it's an entirely different process when you're, you have 5 people in a room regularly collectively working on something versus, someone coming into a room with a finished product and saying, hey, let's play this.
Yeah.
So realizing what that process was, and realizing that, just because, you write one part, or and this is for everybody, you write one part, or you have one idea, and then, you start with that idea, and then slowly over time it evolves into something else, and realizing that you can't cling on to something because you're proud of it, or you like something very specific about it, kind of continuously reassessing what it sounds like and potential for it to move forward. Because if you lock onto one thing, it'll restrict 4 other instruments, when if you kind of just loosen up on that, sit back, have everybody else try something different, attack different things different ways. And I think that's something that we've even done in practice, or is like someone will say, or will be, hey, if you play, the guitar or the bass or the drums like this, then the drums physically can't do that, or the bass can't do that, or you can't sing like that. So if you want to do that, then let's try to recreate that part, regardless of how much we like it, just to see. So that was something that honestly took the better part of a year, and I think honestly that's why this show that we played over the weekend, we played at Stubbs on Saturday, and I'd say it was the most fun show we've ever played, and I think the biggest part of that was in the past 3 months we've written 5 or 6 brand new songs that honestly I think we're as proud of, or more proud of. Nice. And even I got comments from tons of people that said, wow, that song and that song and that song was my favorite one of the whole night, and it was one that nobody had ever heard before.
Yeah.
Which is,
and those were all the ones that we wrote practicing in the house that we practice in, and and most of it comes from it's all just off the dome whenever we're just feeling it. And we're just, we play one thing and we roll with that, and then we get a good vibe going, and that's just, it feels natural. It feels a lot more natural that way. Whereas for a long time, Jake and I both had songs that we had in our repertoire that we would just bring out and be like
a song bank.
Yeah, it was a song bank, and we would just we'd bring one out that was we already had an idea of what the song, we've been playing it that way, and then I don't know, these new songs definitely, I think they sound best because we all did it at the same time. We all wrote it at the same time, on the spot right there. And it's a cool sign, for a band. For a while, we were pulling Jake and I's songs out of our song banks, and we're like, well, I wonder if, we're going to be able to write some cool stuff all together, or I wonder what the quality of those are going to be versus the ones that we've had. And it's really been satisfying to see grow in the right direction.
Yeah. And I'd definitely say that it's been a lot of fun writing lyrics now together too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's been a lot more tunes we write now consists of, one of us writing a verse and the other one sort of trying to dive into that idea and bring a new perspective in the bridge or the chorus. And so being able to take, 2 perspectives on an issue, I guess definitely widens the scope for the listener to be able to digest that idea themselves.
On Pedals, what was the split for you guys? Because to be honest with you, I couldn't tell too much.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it was all Derek.
Songs. I had 2 songs.
All Derek,
3
everything.
3 that he sang. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's everybody's song.
Right. But did you sing lead on any of those songs?
Yeah, Jake sings
Which
2
ones,
of them. All You Have Is Now and Somehow.
And Somehow.
Jake sings lead on that.
Somehow is probably on the album's one of my favorite tunes. On
that one's actually kind of funny too, because that one Jake was recording with our friend for our friend's project. He was going to a school for recording, and Jake got brought out there, and this was before we were a band, and I had been recording bass lines and helping Ryan with a couple songs, and then through meeting Jake, I had gone in to record somehow with Jake at the studio, and none of the rest of the band was involved, and Jake recorded it, and we got everything else down, and it sounded cool. And then I kind of had a conversation with everybody, and we all kind of sat down and just said, all right, like, we are all playing music together, but we're doing these two separate projects, so why don't we just do it all at the same time?
Yeah, there was
and that
good
was
amount of time going on where we were king, and I was doing my thing on the side. But yeah, it just made
that we were playing together, but still, that was a weird time.
And so I think I kind of had an ultimatum with them and saying, like, my favorite Ron Swanson, a very powerful mustache, says, "Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing." Yeah. And so that was my
slap me back into shape, brother.
Yeah, well, we all it was, I think it was something where I think that you know, with them, again, kind of like we talked about with, you know, that they both, Ryan and Jake, had been playing and recording their own songs by themselves for a long time, and I think it's really hard to strip, you know, this pride that comes with, you know, being the end and beginning of a process. And so that, I mean, it's your baby at that point. You don't father a baby with 4 other dudes. So, but when you do, man, it is something special.
I don't know.
I mean, you could, I guess.
It's gonna be.
It is 2018.
Dude, like,
In the world.
It's a beefy baby.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of.
That's one of the
beef.
I feel like one of the coolest things about like maturing and becoming an adult is like letting go of things like that, where, you know, at one point, you know, what made you happy or what fulfilled you was playing your instrument, you know, and you maybe playing it for a girl, or, you know, you play it along, you could play a lick, and now instead of like it being about you, you know, you can see like, oh, this was a great part of the song, part of this team that, you know, you're able to contribute to. And but then also the other side of like, but maybe it wasn't good, and this person who I trust was like, you know, that's not that good, or that doesn't work, and then you're also like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't. Like, you can start to see a shift from an individual goal to more of a team goal, or what the overall project goal is.
Yeah,
that's kind of like, it's really fun to like
exactly.
be able to change
overall,
that, right?
way more satisfying overall, for sure.
Because
camaraderie and the whole thing.
Definitely, man. And it's not like, I'm really happy about this. We used to butt heads. Fonzie and I used to butt heads a lot about this, but I'm so happy that it's more that we were butting heads and not always just gassing each other up. You know, like, that was so good, dude. You know, like, even though it sucked, just
I will never, ever gas to gas.
No. And that's the thing. You know, none of us will ever be like, that sounds good. And we have a very, like, honest, safe space that we can do that. You know, like, whenever we're jamming and not have to worry about somebody getting, like, bent out of shape whenever somebody's like, yo, that sucks, kind of. So, well, I mean, that's needed.
Kinda. Part of it too is like, you got to learn how to talk to each other too,
for
right?
sure. Yeah,
it's like, you know, there's ways to communicate that you don't like something.
Exactly.
Luckily, we all have way different forms of communication, so we have to all go in assuming that there are multiple angles. For
What's your love language?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Hugging. Well, cool. So we're at the point now where I think, you know, we've established that, you know, we've all grown. We know things.
What are you getting at?
And we need.
I think I know where Matt's going.
I think we need to help people on the internet with their toughest questions.
Oh, yes.
There's a little segment we call The Simple Truth. So I'm going to go around the circle here and ask you questions that I've data mined. This makes it sound better than looked up while I was drinking a beer.
Nice. All right.
From
shower
internet.
thoughts. Gonna ask us some shower
you
thoughts.
You could imagine the people that still use Yahoo as their main internet home.
Yeah.
But they have questions and they need answers. And
oh my God.
You're telling me there's a way to search things other than Ask Jeeves?
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I've been asking Jeeves for years.
Who is Jeeves, anyways?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Let me check
Years.
Dogpile. Yeah.
Dude. Oh my God.
Let's.
He's out of answers, really.
It's called The Simple Truth, but I like to envision this as a think tank. So
Love
I'll go around to each person. I'll ask you a question, a real question from Yahoo Answers. You know, whatever you know. Just we're really the source. We are knowledgeable, confident, strong men.
Yes, sure, yeah.
And we are the ones that are meant to deliver these.
I was born a woman.
Careful.
I was born a woman.
Yeah.
Don't assume,
Yes,
Matt.
I won't.
You can't
I will
assume.
not.
How dare you.
We are unassuming. So yeah, ask you the question. We can tag team it, or we can 10-finger it. Whatever you want to do.
Let's 10-finger it, man.
Yeah, so,
I guess, yeah. I think it's 80 finger at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
1, 2, 3.
I'd watch
4,
that
5,
video,
6,
yeah.
7, 8. Yeah. Anyhow,
Yeah.
let's see what the internet has to
Let's
say.
scoop around here. Let's
They have
start
so
with.
many they have so many questions.
Oh,
Let's start
man.
Brian.
Ridiculous shit. too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's start with Brian.
Let's do it.
Brian, should I let my 15-year-old daughter get her belly button and tongue pierced for Christmas?
Well, for Christmas, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't like. Maybe you should just write Santa Claus. Maybe he'll answer and let you know what. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I don't know.
Depends.
I don't have an answer. I mean, I would say yes. Just
Well, is it like, would it convince you?
How
like,
old-
15, Brian.
if you-
how old is she?
what it-
15.
15, yeah.
Does
What
it-
is it a no?
How
all
old is
year?
she?
Yeah,
Does her daddy let her
Like a
date?
Very old man.
yeah. If it's a no all year and your only justification is it's Christmas, I want to give my daughter something nice for Christmas.
Yeah, all right.
I want her to get a belly button pierced.
As
I
a
mean,
Latino American, I believe that 15 is the age of womanhood.
Ooh. Well, there you
It
go.
is true.
She can make her own
Ooh.
choice.
What's her
Yes.
culture? What are we looking at here?
Right.
Because if she's white, she has to wait one more year.
Absolutely.
That is true.
for what?
Tough times.
For her sweet 16.
Tough times for the female white
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't have a good answer for you.
Yeah, this might
I'd
be.
say-
Yeah, we're not assuming culture, but if
Yeah.
you've had
Thank
your
you.
quinceanera, you were a woman, and I don't want to finish that sentence.
See.
That's probably smart.
Yeah. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
It's
all right,
Christmas.
all right.
It's
It's
Christmas, for
Christmas.
God's sake.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, man.
what it is.
About piercings, you can pierce whatever the hell you want as long as you don't get gauges. And if you take it out, odds are your skin is gonna it's gonna heal
We
back.
just
You
lost all
know.
of our gauge listeners.
Yeah.
all of our gauge wearers.
I'm gonna gauge my
no, no,
belly
but-
button. I want 2 belly buttons.
Which is
Yeah.
40% of Austin
Dude,
bike
whenever I
riders.
was young, I pierced my ears several times on different occasions.
Same here.
Because I'd pierce them and then I'd, have a good spring break and then I'd go home and then I'd be like, oh, I can't really do this. And then I'd take them out and each time it hurt a little bit more, you know?
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's a good way to work through your insecurities.
Absolutely, yeah. And it wasn't the scar tissue that hurt. It was just the building
Emotional.
guilt of disappointing my mother, I just didn't want to have that conversation with
It's
her
like,
again.
you're so cute. Oh, and you were trying to look like Justin Bieber, and like, wow, what style you have, and what kind of style are you really going for, man? It's a duality,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know when
I
you're,
like
when you're out
Justin
here.
Bieber and duality in the same argument.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
sentence, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I say
right.
go for
So
it.
go for it.
for it.
Go
It's
for it.
Christmas.
Go for it, Brian.
Yes.
Yes.
Brian,
It's
let
Christmas,
it go
dog.
for it.
It's Christmas,
Brian, you're
goddammit.
the cool dad, right?
Yeah, I'm the cool
You're the
dad.
cool
yeah,
dad.
Go for it. Yeah.
You don't seem too happy about it. You're like,
Fonz is the overly
Fonz is like,
concerned
I don't know
parent.
about this. Fonz is like, not my daughter.
Not my
All
daughter.
All right. All right, Fonzie.
What's up?
I can't wait for this.
How do I punish my cat for holding a grudge against me?
Give him a couple
Are
seconds.
you a cat owner at all?
I actually am a very, very loving cat owner.
Have you ever has your cat ever had a grudge against you?
I have a pretty good relationship with my cat. If anything, my cats and I, that is plural. I really enjoy ordering takeout for the 4 of us, and
There's 3 now. We've gone from one.
You just adopted one. right?
all
plural, which I thought was 2.
All 17.
I have a baker's dozen of kittens in my closet. No, if I had to punish a cat, it would be slow, and it would be a mental game. So what you do is you clip one of its nails, just one. You let it go a week. It's life. It's gonna adjust to it. A week later, another one. A week later, one more. Only on one paw. It's really gonna throw it off. And then what you do? Jesus. And then what you do? Is you slip your cat a Xanax. Take it to an unknown park.
Love
You
it.
just let it out. You're monitoring it because you care and you love it. And you're going to take it home and you're going to give it some nip later. And it is going to lose its shit. But in the meantime, this house cat has never been outside. And he doesn't know how to get home.
Fonzie's hands are shaking now.
And
man.
oh
He's
my
getting into
God.
it.
It's getting angry.
This episode is brought to you by PETA.
Well, there you go.
And
He's
you
gonna come to the next day and be like, "I think I was abducted by aliens last night."
Yeah,
I would
need you.
I would
It's a dinner
never
system, really.
I would never do anything ill-willed to a cat, feline, kitten,
You're just
or a
dropping it
cat
across the street.
American.
You're not dropping it too far. It's just across the street.
Oh no, we're going far.
We're going out of town.
When I was a child, actually, I lost a cat for 3 weeks, and I was devastated, and found its way back home.
Hey, man. I had the same story, but it did not end as nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you torture your cat too?
No.
You giving Xanax to your cat, huh?
Look, there's nothing a cat needs more than a Xanax. I'm telling you, man.
Honestly, yeah, it probably wouldn't bake bread as much on you. Is that what you
Mm-mm.
call it? Baking bread?
I like
Cat
that. The
just
kneading,
Kneading,
Yeah.
yes.
Making
Kneading,
biscuits.
silent K.
kneading.
But yeah, I
Sucking
think
the
it probably
life out of
wouldn't
you.
do that.
When you
It would
sleep.
just kind of hang out.
But I would like to take a moment to say, do not clip your cat's nails. It's not cool. It hurts. Imagine losing the tip of your finger. That's what it feels like for them. If you want to donate, you can send money to my Venmo at catlover44. There's a lot of cats that need help out there, so I'd really appreciate it. You guys took a moment of your time.
You got
to-
my vote.
Thanks, Jake.
Mhm.
Bees are dying at an alarming rate as well. So
So there's also that.
If you want
Or
to,
for any other cat-related interest, send it to Cat Lover
44
69, which is mine.
So-
Oh my god. Well, I have one that I'd like to say.
NSFW.
I have one of those weird facts that everybody probably already knows, but it's cool to hear it as like a fact that somebody says. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Or it doesn't. You know, cats are the only household animal that still instinctually act as a feral, like a wild animal. You know, like dogs will be like, you know, you're chilling and you put, you know, maybe like a gerbil or a guinea pig down by a dog.
Wherever,
You're like,
yeah.
don't
Wherever
kill
the 10
the
fingers go.
Barn-
Yeah, it's like,
Barnes
don't
and Noble
kill-
will kill mice all the time when I let them out.
Are your cat's names Barnes and Noble?
Yeah.
Oh my
Barnes.
God, that's awesome.
what's
both
the
of
third
his-
cat? What's the third cat's
Barnes
name?
and Noble.
Craig.
Craig. Perfect.
I also think it's hilarious to name your pets like human names.
Oh,
Not
yeah, that's
ones
great.
that like translate to pet names, but if you named your dog David or something, I think it'd
I'm
be
naming my dog
hilarious.
Todd, so, and I've already said this on this show before, but it's going to be named Todd so I can say, why is the floor all wet, Todd?
Oh, I don't know, Margot. Christmas
those
is my
love
favorite
notes.
holiday. You know,
Absolutely.
it's my favorite holiday.
That
And Chevy
is-
Chase.
I
cannot
look
be
forward to
beat.
this in
Yeah.
my, in
Oh
my
my
dreams. It's
God.
going to be years, but
Dude,
man.
that's so great. I don't know, Margot. My mother would
So,
be
I
proud of
mean,
that one.
You got a cat. Deal with it, basically, is what we're saying, right?
Deal
or do you
with
want me
the
to type
cat.
out all that? Yeah,
'Cause we're going to answer these questions.
Yeah. Then just love your cat like you'd love yourself, but more.
Yikes.
But
No.
more.
Yeah.
Meowthew 413.
The cat Bible. Meow.
That's good. That's good.
Meow.
All right, Ryan.
I'm ready.
How do I make sure my roommate doesn't watch my TV when I'm gone?
Oh. That's a
Settle it.
tough one for me to
I wonder
to
why.
answer.
Why would they?
That's a tough one because I'm the roommate that
Do either of
watches
you-
my roommate's TVs when they're gone,
okay.
and I'm not kidding. I don't have a TV.
Is it in the common area, or do you have to go into the bedroom to watch?
So we have
Bedroom.
It's
Oh.
it's crazy. It's such a crazily appropriate
This
question.
is a long way of saying bedroom.
Yeah. So my roommates both, whenever we moved in, both were blessed with large TVs.
They're digitally endowed, you could say.
42 inches. Yeah. 42 inches of HD. Hard.
You know, one of my roommates.
Definition.
One of my roommates. I really didn't see it coming, but whenever I found out, he had a really, really large TV, and my other roommate, his they were both really large. Both my roommates had very large TVs, but
You know why?
one of
'Cause-
them had a
Because
curved
you measure it
TV.
diagonally.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
But
why.
you know,
From the bottom of the left to the top of the right.
Mhm.
That's the way you measure it.
and I was
You-
excited. I was excited to find out that both my roommates had very large TVs, but one of them, their TV was curved, and that was a little disappointing.
Oh.
That was hot in the late
No,
2000s.
you know, there-
yeah.
no, one of them had a
new
real
Japanese model.
straight edged.
You're more of a
Real.
flat
It was
screen
curved
guy.
to
Yeah.
slightly to the left, but the you know they're both really satisfying to use, especially whenever
Incredibly.
my roommates don't know it that I'm using their TVs for my pleasure.
Oh, dude.
So let's ask the question another way. What would stop you from viewing these other
Little
TVs?
TVs. What's
I think you should settle down
Average
with one
size
TV.
TVs.
I
Maybe?
think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have
Husband TV.
Yes.
I use, and actually it's my first time really coming to terms with this, but I've actually enjoyed the curved TV a little bit more. It's
That's very.
They all do.
That's very. That's very progressive. of
It's
you.
so crazy that this metaphor worked because it's totally accurate. One of my roommates has a giant curved Samsung TV. and my other roommate has a very large, just regular old big screen TV. And it's
Is it a tube TV?
luckily we can all use each other's TVs.
Holy shit.
Though sometimes I often leave I've just had the same TV for a long time, and it's actually
He keeps his in the
it's
closet.
much
though.
smaller.
Yeah.
Dude, are you serious?
No, I knew it.
And my bedroom
No,
doesn't have a closet.
I knew it this whole time, dude.
My bedroom doesn't have a closet, and my TV's a lot smaller than my roommates, and
Hey, it's
so
all right.
I keep my TV
Yeah, but
in
is it-
one of my other
Is it of great
roommates'
definition?
closets.
Is it of
For-
great
because I don't have a closet in my bedroom.
Is
All
it?
this is all
It's clean,
true.
right?
It's
I mean,
all
real.
I could
All
not
real.
lie
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh.
It all worked for me because I'm just recounting things that, I think I need to reassess my.
Dude, it's not about the
You
size of
look
the
back-
TV.
yeah.
It's
you know?
how you use the TV.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I guess the important thing is, if you get really excited, can you tuck your TV into your underpants band? And,
I
you
think-
know, to keep somebody else from watching it.
Well,
you know?
but
The
I
curved
want
one, you
I
can't.
want any and all people to
Watch
enjoy
your
my TV.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
As I would enjoy anybody else's,
Why do you keep it in the closet?
or VCR.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're very free
Mainly
with your
VCR.
Throw that
TVs.
in there too.
Yeah.
That's the Sony rule.
Yeah.
All
Sponsored
right.
by Sony.
So keep watching those TVs.
Just do with your
Yeah.
TV as you would want others to do to you with their TV.
Yeah, it
Yes.
doesn't matter the
I-
size
yeah.
of the TV.
Yeah.
Enjoy
That's a
all
golden,
TVs.
Yeah, golden rule.
Yeah.
Golden
There you
rule.
Mhm.
go. All right, Jake.
All right.
Why do McDonald's employees care about you using water cups, the free cups, for soda if it had zero effect on them or their pay?
Can I get the eulogy on that?
Yeah, that,
on that,
I'm not a good
question?
Googleizer.
I think so.
I think it's sometimes the way that I ask the question. You know, it's the
So
fact.
Like,
it's the fact
have
that
you ever
I'm
used Have you ever used a water cup at a place to get soda? Have you ever
You
done
know it, man.
that? You do.
I'm
yeah.
a fiend.
Oh wow.
I'll do it.
You don't even care.
You know, you see, that's the thing, and that's probably why I don't even know the answer to this question is because I just I feel like it's something that's accepted while it's not accepted. You know what I mean? Like if you're with your friends and you get the water cup, they're asking why did you not put soda in that cup? And then you know, at the same time you got the
They're cup shaming you.
yeah, they're cup shaming.
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's like, yeah.
I wish there was a metaphor for cups, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It
pretty-
definitely
it's pretty
isn't a thing
simple.
for
It's pretty
dicks. There's no
straightforward,
such
yeah.
thing as a cup for dicks.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't
No.
work.
Oh,
You know, I also enjoy water, and sometimes I'll get a soda cup for water, and then it's like guess who's fooled now? You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
So
So you
I
re-
like to
you-
play mind tricks
you return
as
the
well.
favor, yeah.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think the ratio is 3 water cups to 1 soda cup too. So
Okay, so yeah, let's decide on this as a society. So are we saying 3 water cups of soda for every 1 paid soda?
I think so.
Can we decide on
100%.
that?
Do you have to
Yeah.
differentiate when you buy it in a combo though? Like, because your price point's a little
Yeah, good
better.
call,
So
good
are you
call.
like,
Well,
is
the
the
com-
ratio like 2.8 if you're getting the combo to the full 3?
This all comes down to moral code, man. I mean,
Yeah, is there going to be a punch card or something? Or
Well, the questioner, the asker is correct. I mean, it does not affect the McDonald's general worker. Like if soda is stolen.
Well,
you know?
Ronald is pissed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Ronald gets mad.
Ronald gets on him
I
probably
would
pretty
say
hard.
each,
Yeah.
So it's
each
hitting
soda
people.
cup averages to be a fraction of a penny. Each fill.
Each.
The
fill.
cost.
I think it's a couple pennies.
Is it?
Either way.
Yeah.
We're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, I think depending on the size, because water cups are typically smaller than your average
And they're
12
clear.
to 16 ounce cup.
Motherfuckers.
You know,
It's like people can judge you
put
for what
ice
you're
in it
drinking. You know.
or maybe you're one of those weird people that don't.
Do you think there's McDonald's employees that go home at night and like go to they're just like their wife is just like, "How was your day, honey?" And he's just like,
Shakes. his
"God
head.
damn it,
I had
those
this-
kids
I had
will
this
not
group
stop
of
crazy
come in
kids.
and
drinking
open the
soda out of
Yeah.
the water cups."
We lost $1.50 in Dr. Pepper today. Yeah, it was the worst day ever.
And it's funny because this is why we get the smaller cups whenever we ask for water, and it's bullshit, because you do need more water for every cup of soda that you have, but they know everyone steals the soda, so naturally, you get a cup that could literally be a shot glass of whiskey, and that's supposed to fill you up. So if that's not begging for you to break the rules, I don't know what else is.
Have any of you ever watched
Boom.
somebody steal something and were just like, whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did.
What do you-
Yeah,
like what?
I was at Walgreens here off Riverside a couple months back, and it was late night stop, and I saw some guy acting kind of shady, and he was walking around the candy aisle, and I looked. He turned around, and he had like 5 or 6 chocolate bars hanging out the back of his pocket, and then I saw him just take off and just walk out, and the people at the register saw it, and they just like, I even said something to him. I was like, I think that guy may. And they're like, nah. Yeah,
get paid
what
for
are you gonna
that.
do? Yeah, he's gone already. I was like, okay, good point.
I see that at HEB all the time over here. It's like people, the move is putting shit on the bottom part of the cart where nobody ever looks. Like I've seen like 30 packs of water or diapers, and I think the move is pretend you forgot it was there and just pay for everything on top of the cart and then just go away with it. If somebody calls you out, it's easy. You're like, oh, I forgot. But I've seen
Where did
people
that
just
basket
walk
of
away
bread
with it
get
all
in
the
my
time.
pants? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember putting that there.
Yeah.
I think it's all about confidence with that. I knew in high school. I remember it was a soccer team, and the guy like a year above us walked into a grocery store and filled a cart up with booze and wine, and just walked out with the cart, act like he owned the place. No one stopped him. No, he must have stole over $100 worth of booze. Yeah,
Legend.
Matt Rifkin. I'm gonna call him out.
Tommy Masterson.
Matt Rifkin.
Statute of limitations has got to be.
Yeah.
My friends used to go put a bunch of toilet paper inside of a shopping cart, and then like put all this like beer and stuff inside of the toilet paper and make like a toilet paper fort, and then they'd go in and be like, yeah, there's like 20 things of toilet paper in here. Like, why are you gonna make us take it all out? And they'd be like, no. And so they just like do one and then type in 20, and then they would get out with like a case of beer or something like that buried in the toilet paper.
The old Trojan teepee.
Yeah, man. Get drunk and toilet paper someone's
I
house.
was getting that's exactly what was going on in those
That's Warren
evenings.
Buffett shit right there. Yeah,
Wow,
Yeah.
that's ingenious.
My dad's thing is like he goes because when you go to the grocery store and like you see somebody open Cheetos or a Code Red or something, and they're just enjoying it while they're shopping, and they still pay for it up there. You know. So my dad does that with toilet paper. He gets like a 6-pack of toilet paper, and there's one missing, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I already enjoyed some of that."
I had
All right.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I guess we're just saying if you're gonna steal, It's in a water cup. Make it a Sprite, huh?
Make
Make it a
Hey,
Sprite.
make it
So it
a
looks like,
Sprite.
well, hey,
Crisp,
come on, Sprite.
refreshing.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Lemon lime.
Yeah. Derek,
Drock.
Let's hear
here
it.
we go. Let's do this one. Does it sound like I have diabetes or something else? 2 question marks. I'm a mouth breather, and every single night I sleep with my mouth open and wake up with an severely dry mouth.
And
Does it sound like I have diabetes?
This life is in your hands right now.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
diagnosing this
Give him,
man.
yeah. Based on everything you know about this fella
Dr. Drock.
Based on that,
or lady,
I'd probably say no. It's more like a sleep apnea kind of thing. That's-
mouth breather. Does it? Didn't we all? Do we sleep with our mouths open and breathe? I don't even know.
What would you prescribe?
Do spiders crawl in our mouths when we sleep?
5 of
That's what
them
I've heard.
every year.
5 every.
It's
single
exactly
year.
5 every year.
Yeah.
No more.
No,
less.
I've only had 2 crawl into my mouth so far this year, and I haven't slept in weeks.
How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
You don't videotape your bedroom?
The red light means it's off.
Dr. Drock, what medicine would you prescribe for this guy?
For this guy,
So he's a mouth breather, and he's very uncomfortable with the idea of that. He thinks he has diabetes.
So can we go through his symptoms first again?
Okay, so it was I'm a mouth breather, so that's one. But that could be during the day.
Not a red
obviously.
flag at all
Yeah.
there.
No, breathe
And
heavy.
Every single night I sleep with my mouth open
Double,
I don't know if
not a
that's
red
controllable.
flag there. Yeah.
and wake up with an severely dry mouth. And severely dry mouth is a thing.
That's the
I
worst
think
kind
it's-
of dry mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you WebMD and severely dry mouth,
I think this guy needs some
Pretty sure.
Sprite.
ooh, yeah.
it needs
Sounds
to
like
be-
his
Relax
lips-
with a
yeah.
cool, refreshing
Crisp,
Sprite.
refreshing.
The great thing is the
No
Sprite's low
caffeine.
in, no caffeine, so you
Yeah.
can pass right out after
Yeah.
you wet that mouth a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
man.
Yeah,
and
you
this,
get thirsty
this
in the
hasn't
middle of the
been
night too.
WebMD'd yet. It hasn't.
He went to
And it's-
Yahoo Answers first.
Yeah,
Before he
yeah.
went to WebMD.
You go to the truly credible source. Anytime I've WebMD'd anything, I've come out of the internet
cancer.
doctor's
Yeah.
office
This
with
is
cancer
really
and
common.
herpes
Yeah.
and
herpes.
AIDS.
You have cancer
Yeah.
herpes.
It's the
Just-
worst.
Just cut it off. Just go ahead and
Yeah.
cut it off.
I had a small
There's a Sprite
lesion.
for that.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
Derek,
ultimate-
Derek,
ultimate
you've
call,
heard
Derek.
from Derek. You've heard from the think tank. Does he have diabetes, or something else? 2 question marks.
The answer is no for diabetes.
No for diabetes. Good job.
Yes, something's wrong.
Oh,
Cure is McDonald's water cup Sprite.
yeah!
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh man.
Hell yeah!
Specifically.
Hell yes.
Need a lot more cans in here.
Joseph, you're an expert on this.
Oh, am I?
The garbage man ran over my Christmas tree. Can I sue?
Am I an expert on trees or garbage? Because I'm not really sure here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Garbage man ran over my Christmas tree.
Why would they? Why would that have happened
So
already?
wait, yeah,
That's
why?
Weird,
So I'm confused here.
maybe they literally ran
Like,
over
did
it.
you get rid of it? Did you get rid of the tree and then he ran over it? Or
Too
like,
early.
were you about to use it? You were like, I'm gonna set this outside on the curb real quick, and then he happened to come by, and then he ran over it, ruined Christmas for everybody.
I don't think there's a situation where that tree should have been in a run-overable location.
Yeah, and if
Did
it
he
wasn't-
also run over your living room?
and if
Yeah.
and if it wasn't in a run overable location, then you probably neglected the tree to the point where it was gonna get ran over. You're a horrible tree owner, and you should burn in hell.
Ooh, bad tree owner.
Sounds like you're blaming the
Shaming
victim.
tree owners.
Get that
Yeah,
tree
victim
inside.
blaming. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Take that
Yeah.
tree inside.
Tree owners are
Shouldn't have wore
disgusting
those
people.
decorations.
Animals.
Savages.
The whole group.
Tree owners.
Jesus.
Literally asking for it with that star on top.
Yeah,
Oh,
they literally
Jesus.
are. They literally
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, come on.
They're just pining for it, right?
Oh man.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Moving on.
All right. Let's finish up with Bretta. If your wife admitted she's a lesbian after years of marriage, would you stay married to her and let her find a side chick?
Well,
Coming from the guy that just got engaged.
Engaged.
Congratulations, by the way.
Engaged.
Brought to you by
Congratulations.
Sprite.
Yeah.
Sprite. Yeah, this
Brought to
wedding.
you by-
This wedding's paid for by Sprite.
Yeah.
Brought
They're
to you
sponsoring our way.
Who's the lemon? Who's the lime?
Doesn't matter in this situation.
Hell yeah,
It's
brother.
2018. We're a progressive
It's
couple.
a twist.
We trade world. Oh,
Yeah, we traded.
Who's the cranberry?
Yeah.
The third party.
LeBron.
The side chick.
Side chick,
The
yeah,
side
yeah.
chick is the
Third.
cranberry.
Yeah. We're,
So-
looking, we're looking for the third. Is it okay for the third?
Dude, honestly, Brett,
Obey your third.
Look,
If-
I'm. Oh. Nice. It's good, man.
Brett, I think, I don't know, man. If your wife became lesbian and she was like, I'm going to add a third party here, whomst
Well, she
happens
doesn't
to
say.
be-
Actually,
Well,
she doesn't
I have
say
a
third
feeling
party.
she was
Because
already a
She
lesbian.
says side chick.
He's saying side chick, but that doesn't mean
That
a-
means,
might not
well,
mean a
that means,
third.
I was going to say, whomst happens to be a woman.
Yes, correct. Great
Also,
grammar. Thank
it-
you. Yes.
It is,
That's very important.
that's a whole lot of love.
I would
Also wondering,
say-
do you
Whomst-
get to
whomst
talk
is
to this
getting
side
boned.
chick? Do you know this side chick? Is it
Wait,
like a mutual thing? All
I'm
three of you, or is
thinking-
it like when
this is
you're
what I'm
with me,
thinking.
you're with her.
I'm thinking she's probably always been a lesbian, which
Yeah.
is all right
You hear that, Sarah?
because it's 2018 and we're
Yeah.
fine with that.
Absolutely.
I would be. I'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's
All right.
there's
Sponsored by Sprite.
there's worse things that could happen, I suppose. You
There
know.
are,
I think
yeah,
that's
maybe worse.
the implication.
I would
here is,
encourage it, honestly. If my wife was like, I'm really into girls too, and I'd be like, well, okay, I guess there's enough room for
I
another
guess
girl in this
we'd
bed.
have a sit down and write down some
Yeah.
agreements. Some
pros, cons.
yeah.
You have some Sprite.
Have a little Sprite.
Well, but yeah, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
there are some boundaries with.
We'll check out
with
where the
marriage.
10 fingers are at that.
I heard you can
Current
find some
time.
really good questions
Yeah,
off
more
of
fingers.
Yahoo.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With any relationship, there's a lot of boundaries. There's a lot of
It's a give and take kind of situation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
So
think
answer is I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, Pedals is the EP.
Pedals
Yes.
is the EP.
Pedals.
Check it out. Have yourself a nightcap. Is it okay to have your first nightcap at 11 a.m.? That's what I want.
Yes.
I have the day off
Sure.
tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Well, that's actually where the name came from. Is that
11 a.m.
Yeah.
is that it came from 11 a.m. Well, nightcap came from, my dad used to say it all the time, like whenever he was like home from work, hanging out, like
Have a little nightcap.
at 11 a.m. No, I'm kidding. But he would come home and he'd have a
Yeah.
nightcap every day, and it's just like a nice drink that he'd have, and then you go to sleep. But the thing about our music is, whenever we first started out, it was more chill singer-songwriter esque, and like we'll put you in the place of like calmness and peacefulness. But that's the thing about a nightcap, though. If you have it a little bit too early, you have another nightcap, and then you have maybe
Several nights.
7 more, yeah. And then yeah, and so then it becomes quite a fiery drunk that you have on your hands, a drunkenness that you have on your hands. And that's kind of how our music is. Like it's slow and cool and chill, but there's also, it can grow into these like larger things
Yeah.
that can be more exciting and more will make you make a mistake at some point if you
it usually ends in regret.
yeah.
That's definitely what was my first thought when I heard the band. My brother
Regret.
Eric lives in
Mhm.
Indiana, and we tour through on our way up to New York and stuff, and we always stop in Indianapolis and play shows, and then we always go back to his place and stay
Mhm.
for the night. And when we get back, he's like, "All right, I got a nightcap lined up for you guys,"
Yeah.
and it's like 4 rum
Yeah.
and cokes with limes.
Exactly.
But
They're
there's
so
no
strong,
coke.
so
It's like
strong,
no
yeah.
coke in it. It's
Exactly.
just all rum.
Yeah.
And it usually like ends in us staying up till like 3 or 4 in the morning, just getting wasted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Turn
yeah.
into
yeah.
What if on a
More
rum and
nightcaps.
coke with lime, we just skip the
Don't
extra
you dare.
strap?
Don't you dare. You better not.
I
You better
mean,
not.
What if you don't
Are
like
you gonna,
lemon?
Are you gonna?
well then, we're gonna have a lot of other problems here. Let's not get into that. I like you guys.
Can we replace that Coke with a Sprite and rum?
Yes. A little Sprite and rum.
No such thing.
But that's exactly how it is. Like
Yeah.
lining up 6 rum and
Sprites.
Rum and Sprites.
But before you know it, you have a night on your hands. You have a this place in your mind on your hands.
Yeah,
that
you have
you
a
haven't
nice,
been to.
Plug.
That's
New
it's
song, by
that's
the way.
name of one of our new songs that's
Nice.
coming out.
So
Yeah.
what's the timeline on new stuff releasing?
world's
actually
burning
just-
down in 2030, so 2031. What's up?
Yeah, we actually talked about it earlier today. We got a pretty solid release plan. I think we're gonna do the remainder of like the new songs that we have. I think what is it, like four to six songs throughout the year as singles every couple months, and then hopefully planning on doing a full length album the very start of 2020, and then that'll include all the hits. I wanna
Do a
have, like,
compilation of all the past
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
all the hits, and then some
new stuff that
as well.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Cool.
A lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
Oh,
go
sorry.
for
I was
it.
gonna say, do you think you ever put those two singles that didn't make the EP out on anything, or is this gonna keep that up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know if both of them will be on the first one, but I think, for me personally, I think all the ones we have out right now, I think I want to have included in some sort of I guess compilation is how I'd put it as far as a full album goes, and it just kind of depends on. I know for me personally, I've always really enjoyed albums that you can listen to front to back, and I think we kind of have enough songs to where we can strategically pick and choose. Obviously we want to kind of put out our best songs as they're coming, and maybe there's some songs that we'll write that we'll never put out or never fully put out on an album per se, but whenever we release an album, I think all of us would really like for it to be cohesive front to back and flow in a certain way and tell a story, and so I think it'll kind of depend on what we're thinking about as far as when we're getting a little closer to that point and in that process. I think we're approaching this as singles, and there's so many different ways to write an album. I think it's really cool when really rich bands with lots of money and resources go to Costa Rica for 2 weeks and hash out 10 new songs, but none of us are
Yeah,
one
you gotta be on the
day
realistic. Yeah.
One day.
with Sprite anything is possible.
That's
True.
You can be Costa Rican too.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I mean, I dig the sound you guys are doing. I look forward to the new stuff. You guys are definitely in my driving mix now, which is
For
like
sure.
cool music that I think
Yeah.
girls would like. Yeah. What else could you want? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we really appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, no. That's yeah. I think girls like. I don't know. I don't know anything about
Don't
girls.
forget the Sprite.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually dig the stuff. Check it out on Spotify.
Yep.
Then nightcapatx.com. Keep up with that. The Facebooks, everything else. Fair City Fire. You guys are starting to make plans for next year.
Hell yeah.
Is anything?
Yeah. What's on the
What's
what's on the
happening?
agenda?
Maybe making some music.
Rock and roll, man.
Going to play music for people. That kind of stuff. the
Yeah,
usual stuff.
we're doing a couple shows in January. That's kind of the next thing. Doing Samantha Lee's album release show. I think.
Hole in the wall, right?
Yeah.
At that hole in the wall.
Yeah, it should be
January
fun.
30th.
Hole in the Wall's a good time.
Always.
It's
Uh,
been,
Cali's.
been God, what, 3 years
I
since
think
we played
so.
there
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least.
yeah. Free Mexicali's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mexicali's,
Ooh.
man. As many
That's why
you can
do
drink.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about a nightcap. Goodness gracious.
Like
Talk
20,
about regret.
20 nightcaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will this be released before January 5th?
Yeah.
Plug.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
We will be having a show on January 5th at Stubbs Indoors.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free
It is
music.
a
Music
free
week.
show.
It'd be
Yeah,
sweet,
free week.
yeah.
Free week.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The Sprite is not free, unfortunately. We got to meet our quota.
Mhm.
Well, cool, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, y'all. Good stuff.
Let's see.
I'd like to end this podcast with a quote from Alex. Well, it's not from him, but it's one of his favorite quotes. I'm sick of following my dreams. I'm just going to ask them where they're going, and I'll hook up with them later.
Talking about.
Yeah.
They say the recipe for Sprite is lemon and lime, but I tried to make it at home, and there's more to it than that.
Thanks, dudes.